Woodward, we are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you all for choosing to kick off the day with the WUW Crew. We got everybody back in the building again, so the energy is already on 100. Chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of the WUW Crew production. I hope your energy's on 100. Let's zoom right on through that light goal. Go ahead and smash it, man. It's your boy Brandon Den, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer for the network. This right here, the vet of the network, that is Flannel Sam. Hey, I like the flannel, man. It's crisp.
Oh, thank you. And yesterday, during the day, and last night, it was a very good day of baseball for old Flannel Sam for a couple of different reasons. And we're going to get into that in just a minute.
I was
Does it involve
wondering,
winkers?
it's real spiffy.
Oh, yeah.
You look very, very happy, just calm.
Oh, yeah, just smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah.
Because there was a certain player who did something that I've been calling for, that did something pretty immaculate yesterday. And oh, by the way, the Tigers won too.
Yeah, definitely. Because I felt a little bad yesterday. You were like, man, Kool-Aid, that energy is almost as if you didn't watch the Tigers game. But no, last night was definitely a good one for the Detroit Tigers.
Absolutely.
Yep. Hey, shout out to Matthew Broder, our credentialed Tigers and our Lions reporter and writer for the network. What up, though, brother?
Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Matthew.
I'm ready. We got a big day of sports. Let's go.
Let's go. Shout out to Freddie Felt, chat family member in the building again, decked out in the maize and blue at some point in time. Y'all gotta see this, man. That's immaculate. I love it. Absolutely. That dude Justin's in the building. Intern Chase. What up, though? The Chase cam.
Right.
Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG in the sound booth.
What's
What up, though,
good,
Black
man?
Hollywood?
I feel a little better now to know that Penei is okay. So, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big sigh of relief this morning, man. I was worried, but I'm feeling good, man. Ready for the show.
Ready for the show. WUW Sports MVP in the TD booth. What up, though, JB Smooth?
Ask me about my winker.
Hey.
I will not.
What's going on, fellas? It's a good morning. It's about to be a good show. Let's do it.
Oh man, dog. Listen, I've never been more excited for someone else's fandom of Winker than I was last night.
Winker fandom.
You a fan of Winkers, huh, Sam?
But listen, I know we're gonna talk about Matthew Broder. Can you tell the people what we are discussing today?
Yeah, we got Lions. We're going to talk training camp yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about Penei Sewell. The defense dominated in practice yesterday, and we were already going to talk defense, so let's just keep on that plan. Because also Flannel and I, we're breaking down the NFC North. We're giving our rankings for the NFC North defensive rooms. We're talking front seven, secondary, and special teams we're throwing in there. Then we're going to talk a little college football because that starts up on Saturday. So we got a special version of start, bench, cut. Start, sit, cut. Whatever the threesome is, Juices is coming up here. We got a really good lineup of, threesomes that Sam picked out for us.
Whatever
that
the
are
threesome
impossible to decide from.
Yeah, whatever the threesome is.
Yeah, I'm
You'll
cool
like
with
it.
that. I'm cool with it. But we do have a debut. It's debut of a brand new intro segment. Flannel, we're calling it the Winker Watch. Just for today, probably. But something happened yesterday, Flannel. I just want you to take it away.
Well, you know what this reminded me of yesterday? This reminded me of the climactic moment in the Bible of Flannel Sam, a.k.a. the movie Moneyball, when Scott Hatteberg when they needed somebody to hit a walk-off home run or do something after they had given up the lead to the Kansas City Royals en route to their 20-game winning streak. They needed somebody up there. And why Scott Hatteberg was even on the team and even up in that moment is they needed somebody who could get on base. But Scott Hatteberg did them one better and hit the walk-off home run. If you didn't see yesterday's Mets finish, it was pretty great. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Jesse Winker up at the plate. Opposite field. Look at that. Left, center, and gone. And look at that man. Look how excited that man is, Jesse Winker. And I'll tell you what, I'm not usually somebody who is as big of a fan of these like crazy celebrations as some, but when it comes to Jesse Winker, I don't have to be, consistent with my principles.
Of course not.
Hey, I treat
not.
everybody the same, differently. Look at that man, Jesse Winker, hitting that clutch walk-off for a Mets team that is right in the thick of the playoff race. And just imagine that next season doing that in a Detroit Tigers uniform, which is where he should be.
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
That would be so amped up and hype, man.
Maybe they're down 2 in the bottom of the 9th, and Riley Greene and Kerry Carpenter are on base, and then in comes Jesse Winker to save the day when the Tigers themselves, are in a playoff race next year, maybe facing Cleveland, maybe facing the Twins, him hitting a big walk-off. If you need somebody to get on base at a 369 clip, he can do it. If you need somebody to hit a walk-off home run, Jesse Winker can do it. If you need someone to even make an all-star game appearance, Jesse Winker can also do that, which I never mentioned before. So Jesse Winker, bring him home, and congratulations to his walk-off.
What can't Winker do?
Play outfield defensively, but that's okay. I don't care about that. Put him at first. Put him at DH. I don't give a damn. Get on base.
Man.
Hey, if you got Parker Meadows, Max Clark, and Riley Greene, you don't need a defensive outfielder.
you
You need a DH.
Yeah, that's all you need. And I've said it before. If Spencer Torkelson doesn't work out, bring Jesse Winker in, teach him how to play first. It's not that hard, right?
Okay, whoa. I'm
quoting. It's incredibly hard.
Whoa.
No.
We could use an upgrade defensively at first base.
Yeah, tell me. I mean, Spencer Torkelson. I mean, I'm not trying to pile on the guy because he had a really good game the day before, and it wasn't his fault they lost. He didn't really do anything last night, but they still won. And oh, by the way, another funny stat about Jesse Winker, or a crazy stat about Jesse Winker, just to wet your guys' whistle again before we talk about the Tigers. Jesse Winker has a higher career on base percentage than Shohei Ohtani.
Come on.
That's facts.
No way.
That's facts.
No.
Look it up.
I don't like that.
The stat god.
369
The
to
stat god.
368.
Flannel Sam.
Hey,
The stat god.
and I know how it's gonna be. Cut up. Flannel Sam thinks Jesse Winker's better than Shohei Ohtani. No, that's not at all. But But when it comes to, this is what Jesse Winker does, though. He gets on base and he'll cost you basically nothing. He's not 1/20th of the player that Shohei Ohtani is, but Jesse Winker has a particular set of skills.
Whether you agree or disagree with Flannel, you can't say that this man doesn't want the Tigers to be good.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Need these Tigers to be good.
Isn't it outrageous? Yesterday, Torkelson goes 4 for 4. They lose 3-1. Now Torkelson goes 0 for 4, and the Tigers win 8-2.
Crazy.
There's a little bit to be read into that, by the way, but we're not going to focus on Torkelson today because they went and they beat the Cubs 8-2. It was behind some guys that we think might be a part of their core. At least 3 homers are 3 guys that we've consistently brought up in their core in terms of 2. Riley Greene and Kerry Carpenter both had home runs. Also, Trey Sweeney, who came over in the Flaherty trade. He had his first career home run yesterday. But before we get into this, has he had the 2 weirdest his first career hit and his first career home run were questionable calls? Remember, it was and could have been ruled an error. It was a ground ball to second base.
Probably should have been ruled an error, but that's okay. It's neither here nor there.
Yeah, and then his home run yesterday, it bounces back from the little net in Wrigley Field, and they weren't sure. He runs to third base, and then they give him a home run. But nonetheless, his first career home run. Also, Parker Meadows goes 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored. I enjoy watching this Tigers team. I can't really figure out what they are other than just a bunch of young, scrappy guys putting together some at-bats, and then a bullpen / starting rotation
Shout out to
that
them.
just continues to pitch well. They've been the best staff in baseball for the last month, and they have one pitcher.
But you know what? You've been telling us with Harris to just kind of give him some time to be able to get into his mojo, into his sweet spot. He's been here, 18, 19 months now with the Tigers, and he had to deal with, and I've heard KG say this often, kind of the mess that Al Avila had before. Not that everything was bad, but we didn't understand or have everything figured out with the assets that were here. And then you did have some behemoth mistakes that were here as well. We don't know if he's necessarily handcuffed. I choose to believe that he is
He's
with the Javi
handcuffed.
by
I can promise you he's handcuffed.
But is this effectively the beginnings, the percolation of what you believe Scott Harris is? Because I think it's exciting because we're seeing direction. It's not just kind of aimless baseball. I feel like we're seeing direction, and we're seeing this team have some success. The wheels not popping off, be relentless, find themselves 3 games under 500 based on the foundation that we want to see moving forward. There's still questions, but
Hey, keep playing the young guys, because last night it was if you're a Tigers fan and you're excited about the future and you're excited about them potentially having a strong finish to the season, that was as perfect of a game as you could have possibly witnessed. I mean, the Tigers, Riley Greene's got to get going again, because post his All-Star appearance, he's had it pretty much as bad as you possibly could after that, with the injury bug biting him again, with a stretch where he went 0 for 18. But last night, he broke out of it in a big way with a mammoth 422-foot home run to really start to break the game open at the beginning. You saw Kerry Bonds, a.k.a. Kerry Carpenter,
Yes,
with a big home run as well to really add some insurance at the end. Trey Sweeney with his first career big league home run. Parker Meadows with a 3-hit day. A spectacular performance by the bullpen, which has been the norm as of late. You saw guys like Brant Herter pitching big innings, Tyler Holton doing what Tyler Holton does, which is being unhittable lately. It was a nice win. And it was off the backs of the guys you could see being here for the long run. Yeah. And you absolutely love to see it. And I selfishly was so happy that Riley Greene got off the schneid, because I wasn't getting worried about his long-term success. But
that's your godson. I understand, brother.
He had it bad after the All-Star appearance. He had it real bad. Partially because of injury, but also because of poor play. But he broke out in a big way, and the Tigers are going to need him to be that all-star moving forward.
Man, as bad as he was having it, and as much as I know you love Riley Greene, I was sitting here wondering, man, I wonder how bad Flannel's having it.
Because I was... It's weird, because I don't want to say that I necessarily have dual loyalties or anything like that, but I get a little extra happy when it's Riley Greene who makes the plays, especially after I heard the horrific slander from one Terry Foster.
Because think about it. We still have questions to answer with Riley Greene, but he's still an all-star at this level. Think about how vital to the future of this organization's success he is if he can just kind of figure out the health issues, which I do believe is what contributes to his slumps.
The only questions I have about Kerry Carpenter and Riley Greene is health. That's it. Mm-hmm. And it's bad, obviously, because it bit them again this year like it always does, but I'd rather have questions about health than their ability.
Yeah.
Preferably neither, but that's life.
I do think Riley Greene's part of the core and part of this long-term Tigers team, but it's starting to look like, and again, this is a little early in this last stretch of seeing the kids play well, but we're going to start seeing some players, some good players or decent young players, some players that we're excited about now. We're going to have to start saying bye to them, and I think that's a good thing, because they're stocking up their minor league system. Right now is the evaluation period, so maybe Torque doesn't make it next year. Maybe Trey Sweeney isn't part of the core at shortstop, but this is your bridge from Baez to Bryce Rayner. They're still figuring out, is Jace Young? I believe Jace Young is that piece, but he doesn't have a defensive position really yet. Is he part of that long-term core? So nonetheless, the kids are percolating, and it's a good time to watch them develop over these next couple weeks.
Hey, excuse me. Shout out to Marcus Gore. He said, "Wake up, Woodward. Can I get a happy birthday? I'm listening from the ATL." Happy birthday to you, Marcus Gore.
Let's go.
All the way, Georgia.
Happy birthday, Marcus.
That's what's up, man. Thank you for the support. Hope your day is a great one, man. Thank you, everybody, as well. Chat family, hit that like button.
Yes, and I hope the Falcons just absolutely blow this year. Let's talk about who might be blocking Matthew Judon off the edge. in this next segment because there was an injury scare to one of our best players on the
Falcons?
Lions.
Oh, you mean the Chiefs of the NFC?
Yeah, those guys.
Jesus Christ! Because I said nice things about them. Now I think that they're Super Bowl favorites, of course. But that's okay. I'm used to it. I can take it. But you know what? Do you know where if I'm feeling a little aggressive by the unfair slander from the chat, I can work it all out at Planet Fitness, of course. It's fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or enjoy today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. With 10 plus years of experience and 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
You know what? KDK Law got your back. Wake up Woodward. And Woodward Sports got your back. Chat family, I hope you guys have our back. It's time for Detroit Lions Talk. Detroit Lions training camp. We're getting that much closer to the first game of the season against those LA Rams and one Matthew Stafford. But we got some news. I'm feeling much better, like KG alluded to earlier. Penei Sewell, he injured his foot. It doesn't seem to be that serious per Justin Rogers and his sources. The quote was, he's good. Whew. Whew.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell, man, how you feeling about it?
Well, I'm not going to say that I didn't panic, but I felt like with all of the noise that was going around the injury that it would have been a little bit more ominous from everybody who was reporting it if it would have been something that was serious. When I heard that it wasn't serious, I wasn't too surprised, but of course I was 100% relieved because Penei Sewell, hey, I'll tell you what, he's the engine of this team. He is, when we talk about best non-quarterback offensive players in the NFL, he's in the same room with guys like Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill. He's that important to this team. He is the best member of the best unit well, maybe not the best total unit in the NFL, but one of the best units in the NFL, and certainly the best offensive line in the NFL. He's the best tackle in football, the best offensive lineman in football. He's the best run blocker in the NFL by a mile at any offensive line positions, and he only allowed 1 sack last year. If Penei Sewell by himself probably gets you like 2 to 3 extra wins that you wouldn't get with just a replacement level tackle. I know we all love Decker. I know we all love Ragnow. I know we all love Zeitler. I know we all love Graham Glasgow. But Penei Sewell really is the man on this team, and I would say that he's the best overall player and most important player on this team. So he needs to be there. He needs to be healthy, and all signs point to that he will be.
I was gonna say, if there is ever a Mr. Lion right now, it is Penei Sewell.
No question.
And you talk about
No
some of
question.
the intangibles, some of those things, and I know you want those things paired up, Flannel, with the production on the
Yes.
field. And when it does, think about how much more power it gives and motivation to his voice. Those pregame speeches, the stuff that you see them doing in the practices, the battles with Aiden Hudson, the battles with the other members of the defensive line, being able to kind of be a good support, not just to the vets of the squad as well, as to like the younger players. There's some young guys on that offensive line that we're hoping can kind of reach a potential and keep this longevity of a Super Bowl window open for them. So Penei Sewell, it's like the importance goes even so much further than any stat. This guy is not just Mr. Lion, but hey, give him one of them titles. He's one of those Mr. Detroit type guys.
The best part about Penei Sewell is to combine what we all value more and what we all value less. If you want the numbers and the metrics, he's got it. If you want the eye test, he's got it. If you want the leadership and the intangibles, he's got it. I truly believe he's going to go down as maybe the best offensive lineman to ever play the game. He's got that type of trajectory. I know that's a bold statement to make right now, but I know Neil Rule was kind of first on it, that he's gold jacket loading, and I don't think any of us disagree with that.
No.
Not at all.
No, I didn't realize I took Penei Sewell for granted until yesterday. Like, when I heard that news, I got that feeling I think you just described. It was just like a pit in my stomach, like, oh, shoot, like, what is going to happen now? Like, he's played every game since he's been in the league. I believe started every game since he's been in the league. He's the identity of this team. He's what makes this go. We talk about other guys in this category, Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe Hutch too, like Penei Sewell. He is the identity of this team. He is the best player on the best unit of that offensive line, and we're going to get into who's more important in a second if you were to lose a guy for an extended period of time. But there's no denying Penei Sewell goes down. This team is different. This team is different from top to bottom. There might not be a stat or a number to like put to it, but this team misses something if Penei Sewell isn't on the field.
No, seriously, if Penei Sewell had to miss an extended period of time, and again, this hypothetical, knock on wood, I'd pick the Packers to win the division. That's how important Penei Sewell is.
Man.
Their Super Bowl hopes done. And I know I'm not trying to doomsday or anything like that, but the point with all of that is that he is fine. He is going to, all signs look like he's going to play in week 1, and that's basically been what he's done his entire career since day one. Be spectacular and be as available as anyone in the NFL.
Yeah, and the Shaquille Oatmeal says we take Sewell for granted for sure, and it's because of how consistent, how reliable, how much he doesn't fight for the spotlight. He's not fighting. He's to have his ego out there and to have his. I like the fact that he just lets his resume be what speaks for him.
And it's what Ben Johnson can do when he's your right tackle. When he's out there, we don't necessarily see it every single when we're watching at home. Like, if we're really looking at it, maybe you notice it, but what Ben Johnson is able to do, both in running and passing schemes, with the ability of Penei Sewell to pull, with the ability of him to get to that second and third level, it changes everything. It allows Ben Johnson to be the best OC in the league because he can try so many different formations or create so many different matchups for everybody else. Because he knows Penei Sewell's out there not just as a stalwart pass blocker, but the best run blocking tackle in the league. The dude's an absolute freak.
When you hear the word grit, who's the first player that you think of?
Penei Sewell's on a short list, and he's by position probably the most talented player on the Lions as well. He's the perfect football player. If you were to build an offensive lineman and to make a perfect temperament as an offensive lineman, or even as a football player in general, you would make Penei Sewell in a lab.
He catch passes too. So
He does.
Let's not forget.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? It gives defenses so much to have to think about. Man, this team, I can't wait.
The Decker reporting, the situation with the Cowboys, I know we hyper-focus on that or on the fact that Penei Sewell did catch a pass, but whether he catches one or none all season, those are the type of things that defenses have to plan for. You have to look when Penei Sewell is off the line of scrimmage 3 straight plays. Wait, they may be doing something funky. They're setting something up, putting Skipper out there 3 straight times. It just creates all this the creativity creates these wild mismatches, and it just puts pressure on defensive coordinators. Preparing for this, that's a real thing. You have to prepare, and you have to have guys ready out there. It's wild. But
how do you prepare for a chess master, though? That's the thing. Ben Johnson's offense, it's going to beat most of the counters you throw at it. I think that's what was so stunning to me about the loss against the Ravens. Well, no, the loss against the Ravens, I was like outdoors. We chalked it up to some stuff. But the loss against the 49ers was so stunning to me because outside of those third quarter woes, Ben Johnson has been a chess master. This year, you give him a few more weapons. You got some of your young guys taking another step forward in J-Mo, Jahmyr Gibbs, and others. I believe that he's going to have exactly what he needs to counter. I believe defenses, they're usually in a position of guessing anyway. And with our skilled playmakers like Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta and Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, man, Ben Johnson's going to have his way with defenses.
Yeah, and Flannel, you brought up something that it caught me by surprise, but it's not outrageous, and I think I might even agree with you when you brought up if he's out, you may just chalk up Green Bay as the NFC North champions. Is Penei Sewell more important than Jared Goff?
I think so. I really do. Just because
it's not outrageous.
No,
it's not.
This is why this is a weird. This is funky.
It isn't because. And this isn't Goff hate in any way, shape, or form. Penei Sewell is a unicorn. I would contend last year, and I know people are going to disagree because he played right tackle and not left. I would contend that last year, Penei Sewell was better last year than Trent Williams has ever been at any point in his career. These are the superlatives I'm using to describe Penei Sewell so that I make this as clear as absolutely possible. I think Jared Goff is more easily replaceable in an offense than, say, Penei Sewell. I would feel more comfortable if Kirk Cousins was the quarterback instead of Jared Goff, but he had Penei Sewell, than if Christian Darrisaw was the tackle and we still had Jared Goff. And Christian Darrishaw's fabulous. He cannot even sniff, Penei Sewell's you-know-what at this point. That's how good Penei Sewell is.
Yeah, I don't think it's that outrageous of a statement either because, if Goff goes down, what we've seen from Hendon Hooker, I have confidence that, he can come in and at least keep the ship afloat. If Penei goes down, I've said this over the last 2 weeks, I don't know what that offensive tackle depth really looks like. Who is coming in to replace that kind of production? Yeah. We don't have that.
I mean, that's true. And you know what? I'm sitting here trying to wonder, I know we can say jockstrap, so I'm wondering what Darrisaw is actually sniffing of Penei's. But the Shaquille Oatmeal says, we just expect greatness from him without really thinking of it. We need to protect that man. And Greg B29 says, I'm knocking on all the wood. He believes that Goff will get hurt without Penei Sewell. And it's something that you have to think about. We not just even before you go to the extreme of injury, we talk about how much this offensive line means to the success of a Jared Goff. And that's okay to admit. You know what I mean? That's the relationship that you want between your quarterback and your offensive line. You lose a guy like Penei Sewell, we don't even have to get to the aspect of hurt. You're going to have a harder day in that backfield and in that pocket for Jared Goff.
Well, there are very few NFL offensive linemen playing right now. Maybe there's only one that have the ability to completely neutralize Nick Bosa, to completely neutralize a TJ Watt if he has to completely neutralize a Micah Parsons or Montez Sweat if we're going in this division. And that's important for Jared Goff because we all know he's uniquely unathletic. And that's okay, by the way. Yeah. That is 100% okay. So, if Penei Sewell were out, I would worry about, too much pressure on Jared Goff from potentially getting hurt or potentially not being able to escape. But hopefully, luckily, and what we've seen throughout Penei Sewell's career and Jared Goff's career with Detroit, that's never a problem because Penei Sewell's always there and he's always spectacular. Which is ironic because he's not spectacular in the way he plays, and it's not spectacular being a great offensive lineman, but his impact and his ability, that's spectacular.
Hey, I'm just knocking on wood.
Yes.
I'm hoping that we continue as a team to have health, because I feel like the teams that are the most successful are the ones that are also the healthiest, not just the most talented.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the most talented, man. Yo, that dude right there has the greatest hair.
Oh!
Oh,
Is that Kid
Come on in,
Kool-Aid?
bro. Yeah, I need the caffeine. It was a rough night.
yes, I feel you.
Early mornings. So yeah, definitely, man. He brought the tea.
Oh, don't pull.
He brought the tea. Thank you, Kid Kool-Aid.
You want to take a seat for a second?
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Look at that flow.
Hey,
I
you
know.
know, he took all my hair from me. With each kid,
Clearly.
the hairline went back more and more. I just had to commit to the shave off, man. I had to commit to the Brad Holmes. Hooper Supreme. And he's so appreciative too, man. His
Yeah.
card collection, his memorabilia and everything. Everything that people like JB and KG, Broder, gotta shout out Anson, Devin the dog. His collection is just grown. And his love for sports, not just kind of staying stuck in this era, but taking the time to research some of those cards, man. It's pretty awesome. Like, we're able to sit down and actually have a conversation about Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, man. Yeah, you
Going
got
to work Pistons.
Hey, you gotta know who Isaiah Thomas is for sure. But if you were never alive to see him, we've gotta do our best to keep his play alive. But I've really loved this segment, by the way, because we really do need to take some time every once in a while to just wax poetic about Penei Sewell, because
Seriously.
we don't.
Yeah.
He's just that guy that's always there. But because he's an offensive lineman, because he's so reliable, I almost feel like us as fans, as we said, maybe do take him for granted a little bit. Maybe this injury scare, as long as it turns out to be nothing, is just what us fans need to really understand how much we love him as a fan base and how important he is.
Yeah. And you know what? It is interesting because the chat family agreed as well. They
Yeah.
said, you know what? For one of our best, we got to do better. And we should, especially in a year like this. That's why I'm glad that the Lions went on ahead and just locked them up, man.
Yep.
Locked them up. Simply the best. Let me tell you about something else that's the best. It's Premier Pet Supply. It's hands down Michigan's best pet store. They offer you the same prices and all the conveniences of the online and the big box retailers, with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. They carry over 60 brands of food and they have nutrition experts to help you. Hey, give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply, or visit them online, www.premierpetsupply.com.
And the pregame show.
Absolutely.
Hey.
We got Woodward and Maine, and we got the pregame show.
That
Look,
picture of
Lions
Neil get me
season.
every time. This picture of Neil.
Who picked these pictures?
Yeah,
What is
man.
this?
Let's go, Broder.
Broder, the only one with a normal picture.
Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
Hey, on Game Day Detroit, you're waking up with Woodward and Maine, your source
Pumped
for
up.
all the insider information on the defending NFC North champion Detroit Lions, with
look at
insight
those
from
hosts.
Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit, every game day, 8 to 9 a.m., Woodward and Maine. And then you got to tune in for the Lions pregame show. You got Neil Rule. You got Sean Belegian. They bring you the best Lions pregame show Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon, with times being adjusted for game times on Woodward Sports, giving you all the up-to-date injury reports, fantasy sit and starts, and Detroit Lions knowledge, delivering it as only Neil and Sean can. Join us for every home game live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, your official guide to the Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports, sponsored by Sabbath Coffee and William Grant & Sons.
My bro Broder got the best photo.
Broder, you set them up, man.
He did.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had to spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians, they take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. It's 24/7 professional monitoring, so you can call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed, because it is technology backed by people. In your safety and security, it is our technology that's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. All you got to do is call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that number is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Unless you slutting it up.
FAB.
Yo, shout out to Ryan's reaction, man. He already changed his profile picture.
What? Wait, what? What's the profile picture?
He already changed it.
Oh,
The deal pic.
Oh. Is that Neil talking about Javi Baez?
Oh, no.
But hey, listen, you know what? We're going to talk about somebody. When you talk about intangibles, it's one of the most important. I have to say one of two of the most important people who have this intangible trait, thanks to Mr. Broder. Oh, my God. What? The chat couldn't even see that. Oh, my gosh.
Got the fastest tongue this side of the Mississippi.
Jesus.
Broder had to correct me because I said, listen, it's Carlton Davis, cornerback that the Detroit Lions acquired in the offseason from the Bucs. Is he the only player on the roster that has a Super Bowl? And he said, no. Nate Sudfeld does too. Suck it. But
I did.
Out of the players that we know are going to actually be on the field,
Yes.
Carlton Davis is going to be the only guy with that type of experience.
Yeah.
And he's talking big and bad and ready to lock things down, man. Carlton Davis.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one for me because I've been high on a lot of Kool-Aid lately, and rightfully so, and I still think that it is justified. I'm a little bit worried with the wide receivers that they're going to have to go up against this season. I mean, Carlton Davis, he is really, really good, and I think he's going to be more insulated this year than Cam Sutton was and everything, and I think the pass rush is going to be better, so they're not going to have to blitz iffy or anything like that. So I think this pass defense is going to be better. But
you don't foresee any Davis toast.
No,
we're not sitting here talking about that because
no.
I don't either. I'm expecting this guy to be an absolute dog this year. He's talking like it, and with the expectation of Super Bowl, wanting to come here, and I don't think he wants to have any aspect of a disappointment or have there be any aspect of a letdown being pinned on him. I do. I wonder how much of a boost that's going to give Carlton Davis, who I believe is already a really good cornerback.
No, I think it's going to be a boost, and I think he's certainly going to be an upgrade. What's funny, though, is when we talk about receivers that Carlton Davis is going to have to face, and he's going to have to attempt to limit, the first name that comes to mind is obviously Justin Jefferson, the best in the world, and somebody who the Lions have to unfortunately face twice a year for the foreseeable and probably long-term future. Carlton Davis did what almost everybody does when they faced Justin Jefferson last year. He got cooked, but so did the Lions. Both times, Justin Jefferson ate Carlton Davis and ate the Lions alive last year. Do you know what the Vikings' record was in those 3 games, though? 0-3. Isn't that kind of insane on the surface? It also makes me feel bad for Justin Jefferson. The best in the world doing what the best in the world does, but it doesn't matter, at least in terms of wins and losses, because football is the ultimate team sport. Yeah, I think Carlton Davis gives you a better shot than what you had last year against guys like Puka Nacua, Mike Evans, even Marvin Harrison Jr., DK, whether it's Nico Collins, Brandon Ayuk, whether he guards Keenan Allen or a DJ Moore, it's going to be a tough road for him. And I think there's going to be moments where he does get burned and he does have a game or two where he looks kind of like Cam Sutton did last year, but that's to be expected. The Lions have a gauntlet of wide receivers, and the reality is as long as the Lions' pass defense is a little bit better than it was last year, I have full confidence that this team is going to reach their goals. And it is going to be better.
Yeah, and you know what? It's because we already saw this happen last year.
Yeah.
Didn't they face a gauntlet of receivers? And we were told all these receivers were going to cook us, and it was in the context from these other fan bases that they were going to be the victorious team. And ultimately, like you stated the stats, 0-3 for Justin Jefferson in those games that he was absolutely cooking.
Yeah.
Listen, the Lions were getting cooked. Even sometimes by receivers that we were like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
But ultimately, they only lost 4 games all year. They were able to overcome that. And now they have a much better secondary this year, and with some dogs in it like Ennis Rakestraw, TA, Amik Robertson, Carlton Davis as the new additions.
No, and he's somebody too, Carlton Davis, I'd feel more comfortable just putting him mano-a-mano on like a bigger wide receiver than any cornerback that the Detroit Lions have had since Darius Slay. And that's a big help to this team. And that's something where you have to almost account that every once in a while Carlton Davis is going to give up a big play. He's going to have a game where he gives up a lot of catches and a lot of yards. But he's not somebody who you're going to have to help as much. He's somebody where Kirby Joseph can just roam. Ife Melifonwu doesn't have to worry about helping. Brian Branch. You've got, I think, who's going to turn out to be one of the better nickel corners in Amik Robertson. I don't even think on the surface that Carlton Davis is miles better than Cam Sutton. Let me finish. I just think that the Lions have a much better situation to where you're not going to have to leave Carlton Davis on an island like they did for Cam Sutton so often. He's better than Cam Sutton.
Or playing across from like Vildor and the Jerry Jacobs and such.
Yes.
True. But if you have to leave him on an island, I feel way more confident with Carlton Davis.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Way more confident.
That trade looks a lot better after they made all the other moves, after we realized how deep this secondary is. Maybe you don't have the Sauce Gardner or a top 5, top 10 quarterback, but Carlton Davis is top 20. And it's not necessarily about shutting down the opposing number ones or the opposing big receiver on the team. It's about limiting them. It's about, instead of Justin Jefferson going out and having 185 yards and 3 touchdowns, it's 110 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
It's Keenan Allen, instead of 110 yards, it's 70 yards. It's limiting those guys so that the Terrion Arnolds, the Kirby Josephs playing center field, Amik Robertson, their talents can start to come out more against less superior receivers, more of their teammates around, because you don't have to help out on Cam Sutton, on Carlton Davis as much as Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
So just the ripple effect of him just being that much better than Cam Sutton, than anyone they had on the roster last year, combined with all these other guys. We're not even talking about Brian Branch, Ennis Rakestraw, Iffy. This defense, this secondary is deep. I don't know if he's that true number one. Like, he talks like he's the best cornerback in the league, and I love it.
Yeah.
He's not, but I love that confidence. And if he can play close to that, challenge some of these guys, this entire defense looks a lot better. KG?
Yeah, and an improved pass rush goes a long way with this team, man. You look at what we didn't have last year. We didn't have another good person coming off the edge. Our interior defensive line was absolute trash outside of Aleem McNeil. So with that being improved this year, I think that helps the secondary tremendously. It's less time for the quarterback to have in that pocket. More mistakes can be made with a better pass rush, and that'll also help the secondary be able to make plays. So looking forward to it, man, of what it's actually going to look like on the field.
Yeah, so DJ Reader, Dan Campbell said they're going to start ramping him up. He's going to start really get going on Sunday after this third Steelers game. They haven't given a timetable of, is he going to be back week 1? Is he going to play week 2, week 3? So real quick, hypothetical, and I might go a little bit into the next segment if we want to go to break, but if DJ Reader's out till week 6, so by week 5, if they decide to just hold him out for 4 weeks, what's the defensive line rotation you want? We know Aleem and Hutch are going to be there. Maybe we'll finish this question on the other side of the break, and then we'll get into our rankings, which include the front 7. So Let's do that when we come back.
Hey, I like the spotlight on the defensive line, man. And let me tell you about something awesome right quick. Is where a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut, and that is Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. All you got to do is stop in, sit back, and relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented hairstylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime. It's open 7 days a week. Lady Jane's is wicked awesome.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy and every Thursday on Armani and Edwards, where he's offering you the top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And we are back as Wake Up Woodward, and we definitely appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off today with the entire WUW Crew. We got everybody here, including chat family member Freddie Phelps.
Legend.
Legend, man. Shout out to Mike G as well.
Right.
Me thinking about Lizzie from Canton and Fish Girl. Oh, you got some competition, bro.
Mike, that's my Michigan man, Mike G.
Yeah, man.
Go
Shout out
Blue.
Mike G, man. He a clown.
Hey, go Blue. Hey, you know, if we get a chance to get into that Michigan segment,
we're getting to it today.
About one Iowa coach.
Oh, yeah, weird.
Yeah,
there are
weird.
other people around the country
Weird.
breaking rules.
Oh, I made that graphic. I was up at like 4:30. I was like, breaking news.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other.
McNamara. Fuck.
We'll talk about it.
Missed it all for Cade. That's kind of messed up.
Hey, I love it too. I love it because I was just told it was only Jim Harbaugh. But whatever. The Detroit Lions, man, their defensive line, they've made some investments there. Obviously, you're going to be dealing with some injury concerns with DJ Reader to start the season. But as Broder kind of alluded to during the break, man, this is still a really good defensive line rotation. I have to ask you, do you have any concerns, or do you think it's going to be okay for the Detroit Lions? And what's that rotation if Reader's out?
Well, if DJ Reader's out for even the first couple of games of the season, Broder, I know you mentioned week 6 as something that's more possible than maybe we even realize. That's where I want to see that other, as Kevin Zeitler said, one of the other $20 million defensive linemen and Levi Onwuzurike.
There you go.
Go in and be that second-round pick that he was in 2021, in which the Lions were higher on him than even Ali McNeil. That would be the key to me to making it all okay. And I would also hope that James Houston is somebody who's a factor on this team and not somebody who's in danger of the practice squad. I would hope that Marcus Davenport is healthy. And then when it comes to defensive line or edge rusher, I think Josh Paschal is somebody whose versatility could potentially help heal the ails of DJ Reader possibly missing a couple games or so. I think that they're fine to I think that they're okay and that they will be fine as long as people step up. People that we expect to step up actually do. And I would say for a rotation, Aleem, Levi up front, you got like Hutch and Davenport, and then depth guys on the D-line. You can have Kyle Pecco, you can have Broderick Martin, you can have Wingo, you've got Houston, you've got Paschal. I think that that's enough to withstand a couple of games. I really want DJ Reader back, though, because things do look different when he's not there.
And with this defensive line, especially I hear a name like Wingo, if this defensive line seems like it's good enough and it's insulated enough to be able to provide enough for Wingo to be able to get in and be a contributor for this team.
Yes, and the reason why I didn't mention Wingo or Broderick Martin as some of the most important is they are still complete unknowns.
Right.
When Brad Holmes identifies you, I'm probably more likely to believe that you're good than not, but we still don't know. With guys like Levi O, with guys like Pascal, with guys like James Houston, they have no choice but to step up. Or else they're in danger of playing themselves out of the NFL, or at least out of the Lions organization, and I believe that they will.
Yeah, Flannel, you hit it on the money. Levi O has to step up.
Yeah.
In the hypothetical scenario that DJ Reader misses 4 games, that's where you go earn $20 million.
Right.
You earn that next contract in 4 games. You have that opportunity. He not only needs to stay healthy for the entire season, but if somebody sees him step up and be a force, even on the interior for those first 4 weeks, that's how Levi O gets paid in the offseason. And that's how this Lions team goes and gets that #1 seed in the NFC going into the playoffs. If you have a wild card like that show up, where then you don't need as much out of Josh Pascal, you don't need Broderick Martin to step up all the way this year. He can continue to develop and give you, decent snaps. Some good, some bad. Wingo. I love Wingo, and I think he's going to contribute early. He still needs some time to figure it out, but he's one of those guys, like Dan Campbell referenced the other day. Chris Smith, one of my guys, one of my old basketball players in high school. I don't know if he's going to make the 53-man team, but he just referenced Chris Smith as someone doing the dirty work, taking on offensive linemen so that the guys around him can go make plays. That's what you need from somebody when DJ Reader's out. So Levi O may be a little bit more of a disruptor in the middle. You still need somebody to step up and be able to be that force in the middle. I do think they have the depth for it.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm looking forward to it with this year because Aaron Glenn, we've heard for years this guy is going to need the assets, and I think that he has the pieces this year. Even if DJ Reader gets off the shelf a little bit slow, they have some depth pieces there. That's what I think is pretty cool about having this conversation because at least from my perspective, I was like, man, what happens to the Detroit Lions in their Super Bowl window if like DJ Reader or Marcus Davenport miss extended amounts of time? But it's like, you know what? They do got some players still in the squad that have been in the system, been in the trenches. They have dedicated their time to, like, you look at Broderick Martin, like redefining even what his body and his physique is so that he can be ready to play to the level that this team is asking.
And an underrated player that Flannel mentioned, Kyle Peko, who Terrell Williams is familiar with from Tennessee. I actually think he'll probably be the starting DT. Maybe they run some more 5 defensive lineman fronts, but he's one of those guys that Terrell Williams trusts. So I think we'll see him out there. And then when you talk about how the linebacker crew has improved more on just a year of maturity, a year of experience, we talk about Jack Campbell hopefully breaking out. And the secondary that we just talked about, the fact that that's not now all behind this defensive line, it's not like we're running out Quentin Bohanna and Benito Jones, who they're not superstars, but man, they stepped up to the plate last year, at least in the run game. Like, this was a #2 run defense in the league. I think this defensive line can do that again, even without DJ Reader, because of now what's behind him. What makes this exciting is that we do have DJ Reader, and he's arguably I'll hold off like getting into this until what we talk about next. He's got a case for being the #1 defensive tackle in the NFC North. He's in the conversation.
He's in the conversation.
He's in the conversation.
Yes.
So that's just
an
an absolute luxury, whether it's week 1, 2, 3, or 6. DJ Reader coming back is a game changer.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Kyle Peko because that's somebody that I always forget about, and somebody that Terrell Williams is definitely familiar with. I'll be a little surprised if he gets to start, but I wouldn't trip. But definitely Levi O is somebody I'm looking at that has to step up, man. Don't talk about it, be about it. We kept hearing all these great things out of camp. We kept hearing everything from the coaching staff down to the players saying that he deserves $20 million at the D-tackle position. So we need to see him step up. But I'm also going to put some pressure on Broderick Martin as well. This is somebody that has transformed his body. We actually get to see him a lot this year. I think he's going to be key as a first reserve in the interior defensive line, and especially helping keep that run defense really good, man, in the middle. So Those two are two players that I really expect to step up in the event that DJ Reader can't go.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, with Kyle Pecco, all we need from him is to be Benito Jones. And that's not an insult, by the way. Just a veteran kind of mid player who is somewhat impactful and steady because of what there is around him, with guys who have much more talent and upside, but guys who may need a little honing, like, say, a Broderick Martin or a Mekhi Wingo. So,
and I was just going to say, especially with this defensive line, the pressure is not going to be there for them to have to hit home runs. Really, the primary objective is to help Aiden Hutchinson hit home runs.
Yeah.
Help Aleem McNeil hit home runs. Obviously, if these guys can get home and get the quarterback, get them down, no more arm tackles, no more running and bouncing off of quarterbacks, get the sack. I want the quarterback hits up. I want the pressures up. We want the sacks up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I'm hoping that these guys can contribute, and that that this defensive line is so good and can insulate these rotation players that they can just give their maximum effort, eat up as much space and as many blocks as possible to be able to spring guys like Aiden Hutchinson who needs the help.
You know what? I think their sack total is gonna go up, but I believe the Lions will have the number 1 run defense in the NFL. And if they do that, which I'm calling for, that to me sounds like 12 or 13 wins.
Yes,
so,
it does.
And like you said, even without DJ Reader, because they did it when DJ Reader wasn't there last year.
Yep.
What do you think?
And I think you're going to get a lot more this season from a guy like Josh Paschal, for example, than you ever have. And, of course, guys like Broderick Martin, who really was a non-factor last year, I think he's going to at least contribute.
I agree with you, and I think we can all be confident that we're going to get more out of these players because of who Steve Lehman said in the chat was the biggest defensive line acquisition of the offseason. And that's Terrell Williams. That's Terrell Williams. We've talked a lot about him, so we're not going to go into much depth, but that is an absolute game-changing hire. That's Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes elevating this coaching staff and development staff. Even Hutch has another level to get to. Yep. All these guys, there's more to be brought out of them, and Terrell Williams can do that. I just can't wait to see how this front seven, the secondary, how they're pinned up against the rest of the NFC North, because I thought it was going to be an easy exercise putting this together. It was not. It was not. There are pros and cons to every single room on these defenses in the NFC.
It is oh my goodness.
Right?
I was like painstakingly going over this list because I want to try to be fair, obviously, but and with one, you're going to see when we get to it, I couldn't make a decision between who's the second and who's the third best NFC North. I believe it was front seven in the NFC North, and I will explain my reasoning on that.
You know what, man? It's so nice talking about this Detroit Lions team, even the questions that we have for them, because just how far we have to parse this thing to the fact that we're like, oh, snap, we forgot about that guy, and people in the chat like, oh, man, we don't talk about Penei enough. We don't talk about Brian Branch enough. Yep. We don't talk about guys like Terrell Williams enough, probably, and give him the credit. When we talk about what this defensive line can do, it's like, wait, we do have a coach here who should help take things up just a notch. I remember, in contrast, the times where we had maybe just a few players that we could really talk about. In contrast now, we're forgetting coaches and players because we have an embarrassment of riches with where this organization is at right now, man.
Yes.
Let me tell you guys about Swiss Insurance, because I can't wait to get into this next segment, break down these lists by Broder and Flannel as well. Now, more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your carrier is not slipping in any extra fees, or really anything extra at all.
No diddy.
Or raising those deductibles. All you got to do, call our guy Mark at Swiss Insurance. That number, 313-530-1698, or visit them online, swissins.com, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Somebody say merge. I know you see. What was that? I know you see the last commercial. Head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week. But let me tell you about the ones we got up here on screen. We got the Stoke Not Scared shirts, which I'm sure you have right now. We got the hashtag Boo Them Kids out right now, which Kool-Aid needs to replace that Welcome to Detroit sign shirt in his closet. And you also got the Woodward Tigers as well, too. You got to support them. Come on. You got to feel for them. Go to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. Get swagged out. The season's almost here, baby.
You know what, man? The Detroit Tigers, go ahead and get yourself some merch. They're showing you that they're a team that, you can try and believe in them. They're not giving up. They're not quitting. The wheels aren't popping off. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward, everybody. Thank you for kicking off the day with the WUW Crew. We got everybody in the building. That do Justin, intern Chase, Detroit's #1 draft pick, Ensemble KG, Woodward Sports' MVP in the TD booth. That's JB Smooth. Matthew Broder, our credential Tigers and our Lions reporter and writer for the network. The vet of the squad. Flannel Sandwich, your boy Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. And we're talking Detroit Lions. Game day is just so close, man. I can't wait. Boo Them Kids is right around the corner.
Boo the children.
But we also have to focus on the NFC North as well as our opponents. We're going to make sure this season that we give a lot of attention to that. The Flannel and Broder have prepared, and they got to explain themselves. The segment, explain yourself. They have prepared their defensive rankings for the NFC North, the different defensive units per team. And you know what? I got to go to Flannel first. You're going to have to explain yourself with these rankings.
Ooh, so what do you got, JB? I want to...
Where do you want to start?
Yes.
First up is what?
Get it all on one graphic.
Yes, we've got the front seven, and we've got the secondary rankings in the NFC North. And I'd like to cross-reference mine against Broder, if that's all right. So, JB, you got me?
Yep. Where you want to start? Front seven, secondary?
It's all on one graphic.
Yeah. Just whip it out.
Pause.
Ooh. All right. So, we've got the front seven right now. We both have the Lions at 1, which, you know what? Since we agree, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I think, personally, if I'm going to go quickly, I think they got the best linebacker depth. I think they got the best overall player in the front seven in Hutchinson, and I think they have 2 out of the 3 best defensive tackles in Reeder and Aleem McNeil. And this is where we differ. Broder, I need to hear your explanation of why you have the Bears number 2.
2 elite linebackers in Montez Sweat. And while looking at, this is where it was tough, looking at it, going over their depth chart, reading different articles out of training camp. Javon Dexter, Pickens, like some of the guys, they don't excite me, and they need to take another step up. But down the stretch, they were the #1 rush defense in the league last year. So there's something about what they're doing, the guys that they have, at the very least, are going to be one of the top run defenses in the NFL. And I just think they're going to improve with another year with Eberflus, where their secondary is ranked for me is relatively high. So I'm just higher on the Bears, especially with their linebacker core. I think it's the best linebackers in the NFC.
Ooh, that's an interesting one because their run defense was #1 in the NFL. I don't think Edmonds is a great linebacker right now. I think you can call TJ Edwards one. I think you can call Montez Sweat certainly probably the second best edge rusher in the NFC North as of right now. I don't necessarily trust their defensive linemen quite yet. If Dexter shows me something more, I wouldn't be that surprised. Their bookend is DeMarcus Walker right now, which is kind of maybe Austin Booker steps up. But 3, you've got the Packers, and I've got the Packers and the Vikings kind of at a 2A and a 2B.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
All right.
Why 2A and 2B?
Because I think that they have their own set of strengths and their own set of weaknesses to where they're almost complementary, although that's not how it works in defense in the NFL. With the Packers, I think they've got a better interior. You've got a guy like Wyatt. You have a guy like Kenny Clark. Even on the line, you've got Gary and you've got Preston Smith. I like that a lot. I like Quay Walker as a linebacker. However, who I really don't like is Isaiah McDuffie. I think that he's a scrub. With all due respect, at an NFL level. And then you're relying on Edgerrin Cooper, who I believe in like a mofo, but he is still a rookie.
With all due respect.
Yes. When you look at the Vikings, their combination of edge rushers and linebackers is pretty damn good. I like Van Ginkel a lot. I think he's one of the more undervalued players in the NFL. They got Grenard. They've got Cashman, another one of the more undervalued players in the NFL. A sneaky, really good linebacker. And you've got Ivan Pace, who had himself a damn good rookie season. And the potential of a Dallas Turner, who I hesitate, kind of like Broder, to really know what he is just yet. Where they really stink is in the interior of their defensive line. It's pretty rough, I would say. Harrison Phillips, awful. Jonathan Bullard, terrible. Jerry Tillery, mid. So you see what I mean? The Packers have weaknesses at the linebacker position, in my opinion, depending on what Edgerrin Cooper does. And the Vikings have weaknesses at the interior of their defensive line, and they have their own set of strengths. I think it all depends on which rookie stands out more. And I actually think it's going to be Edgerrin Cooper, but time will tell.
Edgerrin Cooper, that's a name that you've been high on all through the draft process, too.
Yes.
It's one I was like, you know what? Early on, we were wondering, are the Lions going to take a swing on a linebacker? That was a player I was like, you know what? I'm hoping it's him. You would convince me early on, and I know you're big on him playing a big role for the Packers this year.
I think he's going to be really good. I hesitate to put too much stock on a rookie, which is why I think the tiebreaker will be whether Dallas Turner is more impactful for the Vikings or Edgerrin Cooper is for the Packers. And I kind of already explained the Bears at four. Why do you got the Vikings at 4, Broder?
Yeah, the tiebreaker for me with the Packers and the Vikings was the second unit of the Packers. It was the depth they can bring in that front seven. We're talking Lucas Van Ness, Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks, Kingsley Ngabare. I like the Packers unit. Like, I like most of those players, even Quay Walker and Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith. But they were so inconsistent last year. Like, I couldn't figure out why Rashawn Gary isn't dominating any team but the Lions, because we know Penei Sewell's there. Like, they're too talented to have played as bad as they did for most of the season last year, or for at least parts of the season. So that was the kicker. I have the Lions and the Bears as the top two, and you were sort of selling me on the Vikings. Like, the more I think about it, I like a lot of those guys. I just want to see it all together.
Yeah, and the Packers, I would say to almost further your point than mine, they should not have been as bad as they were against the run, but they were.
Yeah.
Especially when you got Kenny Clark in the middle. I like their upside as interior pass rushers. And I already told you what I think about the Vikings interior of their defensive line. It's just, it's a whole lot of mid. Actually worse than mid, in my opinion. Jerry Tillery's mid. Yeah. Harrison Smith and Jonathan Bullard blow. By NFL standards, of course.
Now, how can these front sevens, although we're separating it for this this exercise, they affect the secondary. The secondary affects them. And I think when we're looking at top defenses in the NFC North at the end of the season, these two units, how they play off each other, are going to be huge. So let's talk about that secondary, the secondary rankings, because we have a different list as well, Flannel.
Yes. And the Lions made a lot of investments this offseason. 4 cornerbacks added to the secondary.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised that we both have the Bears at a number 1. And I think the biggest tiebreaker is Jalen Johnson. Yeah. He's the best cornerback in this division by far. He was the best cornerback in the NFL last year, although he's got to show it again, because he did kind of come out of nowhere, but he was really, really damn good. I like Brisker. I like Byard. I think they've got a really nice young cornerback tandem with Kyler Gordon at nickel and Tyreek Stevenson, the rookie interception leader as the outside. I like that. Obviously, you do too. The Lions and the Packers. And what's funny, Broder, is that the more I talk today, the more I'm almost...
regretting the decision?
No, but to me, it's not the Packers who I might flip-flop with. It could potentially be the Vikings, especially since they got Gilmore. So I want to ask you, Broder, why do you have the Packers so high?
I had a really hard time with the Vikings. I have the Packers so high. I think, and I don't like the guy, I think Jair Alexander is the best cornerback in the division. Wow. I think he and Jalen Johnson are 1-2, and I'm not even going to like, you say Jalen Johnson, that totally fair.
Sure.
Xavier McKinney, the addition of Xavier McKinney, I think was one of the better offseason moves for a team in the NFL. He fits the Packers perfectly, what they want to do, and they needed him. So we're not waiting on the emergence of Javon Bullard or their backup safety, a later draft pick. Who was he? Evan Williams. He's been playing really well. You pair those guys with Eric Stokes and Keyshawn Nixon, who aren't anything special. I think they have the number one cornerback, and you could argue the number one safety in Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, and my question for each of you, because the secondary is a spot that they made a lot of investments in. A lot of investments. They have depth there. They have a solid rotation of players, and Brad Holmes was considered to be, when he got here, one of the things that followed him here was that he was a guy that could had an eye for talent for secondaries. What do the Lions, and can it, in your minds, is it possible for them in this year to kind of move up in your list?
If Terrion
the recipe.
If Terrion Arnold's in the Defensive Rookie of the Year conversation, to me, I think that's the recipe. And the more that I think about it, the thing to me that puts the Lions over the top instead of being number 2 for me, instead of number 3, is Brian Branch. I think Brian Branch is a top 5 defensive back in the NFC North already. He's in the same room with guys like Jalen Johnson and McKinney and maybe Jair Alexander, although I think Brian Branch is already better at what he does than Jair Alexander. This version of Jair Alexander is at what he does. With the Lions, it's just all about that secondary. I think people undersell Ife Melifonwu like an MFer. I think people sleep on that guy. He had a really good year. He was one of the top 10 PFF graded safeties in all of the NFL last year for the whole season, not just for the end of the year. And at the end of the year, we all know what a factor he was, and sacking the quarterback and blitzing, and even got a couple of picks, and that carried on into the playoffs, in which I think he had 2 sacks. To me, it's the safety room with the Lions. I already mentioned that I have some concerns, minor, about Carlton Davis, although I don't think it will affect them too much. And as far as Terrion Arnold goes, he's got to show us. And the odds are he might not even show us to the degree that what he will eventually be in his career as a rookie. So that's why I think the Lions are clearly below the Bears as of right now, but at the end of the year, this could change.
Yeah, Homer aside, I think Lions could, I don't want to say easily, but they could be number 1 at the end of the year, no doubt. Like, I wanted to put them there. You look at it and what I know about these players, and we're hyper-focused on the Lions, so I'm super high on all of them, but I need to see it first. If I'm going to hold Jordan Love to those standards, if I'm going to hold other rookies to those standards, I think Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw are going to be huge for this team.
I was going to ask you.
I can't factor how much I feel that in this ranking yet. Maybe even by week 4, they could be the number 1, but I have them at 3 now.
And if I'm going to hesitate to really include Edgerrin Cooper and Dallas Turner as far as when it goes to the Packers and the Vikings, I'm not going to. I know I'm not always consistent with my principles, but I will be consistent with my principles, at least when it comes to the Lions rookies as well. I personally think the Vikings could have a sneaky, pretty good secondary.
Right.
I know that they, I forgot what's that cornerback that went down for the season.
Byron
it was
Murphy?
Mekhi Blackman. But I really like their safety room, potentially. I know Harrison Smith, you think that he's geriatric at this point, but he's actually still pretty good. I like Metellus, great Michigan man, by the way. Cameron Bynum is good. Shaquille Griffin was kind of a sneaky good pickup for them. I think that they'll potentially be solid.
And, you know, I did hear you mention Kirby, but this is still funny to me. Herb Nash, haven't even mentioned Kirby yet. He'll make a difference. And really, it just lends more to that point of the embarrassment of riches that we have here.
Yeah.
That before we would talk about, well, we got Calvin and Matthew and Sue. Now we have so much depth. Not just depth, but talent on this squad, man. That, when we're talking about some of these position groups, especially when they add 4 solid players to the secondary, you might forget some guys. But I'm looking forward to Kirby. I'm looking forward to Iffy. Not just kind of how heavy they bring the boom, but how well they play opportunistically, especially when you want to change up coverages. I think back to the Minnesota Vikings game that ended in a pick last year, and just the fact that AG was able to kind of show some wrinkles all game, switch some things up in the end, and get that opportunistic pick to put the game away. Even though everybody in the building knew all game the ball's going to Justin Jefferson, we saw this guy catch it even over multiple defenders sometimes. But something about that play and that scheme, it just put the safeties in a position to be able to make that play and end the game. I'm looking forward to what this can be. And the secondaries there, vitally crucial for what this squad's going to be. The relationship between the defensive line and the secondaries is one that I'm glad you chose to highlight.
Yeah, and Flannel, the Vikings, to me, I think they could be the number 2 secondary by the end of the season. I look at them right now like I look at the Packers pass catchers, a lot of number 2s and number 3s.
Yeah.
Which I like, but when we're doing a ranking like this, I don't know, man. So imagine, rest in peace, imagine if they had Kyrie Jackson. You see what they were kind of building there.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be a factor in the next 2 to 3 years again in the NFC North.
Absolutely. And just very, very quickly, my reasoning for having the Packers at number 4 is I think Xavier McKinney's the no doubt best safety in the NFC North. As of now, it could end up being Brian Branch. Jair Alexander to me is the number 2 corner, but to me, I think Eric Stokes stinks. I think Keyshawn Nixon as a nickel stinks, and Javon Bullard's a rookie. That's what concerns me. Well, not as a Lions fan, I like that, but if I'm a Packers fan, that concerns me a bit. That's all.
You ready to talk some college football?
Yes.
Pumped up, man. Right around the corner.
Justin's cooking up some stuff. We got sits. What do we call this game? Start, sit, cut?
Yes.
There we go.
Man, I'm so bullish about Gold Blue this year.
Hey, aren't we all? Wouldn't that be nice?
Right.
Hey,
I know Ryan Romani is.
No, he certainly is. I don't know if I'm ready to go that far.
Wow.
He certainly had ate his Wheaties this morning when he made that prediction. But you know what? We're going to be talking about.
Hey, it's breakfast of the national champion.
Yes, some Michigan players may or may not be players that we play this game with. A little start, sit, cut. But first, what you will never cut, what you always start, Spencer Raxter did, Les Stanford, of course. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit. But we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Join Woodward Sports and the heavyweights at Hayes Social in Shelby Township for the biggest watch party in Metro Detroit. Lions fans, listen, the big fellas go live just before kickoff, and we will catch all their reactions live on Woodward Sports. Come eat, drink, and cheer on the brand new Lions. Show up and hang out with the guys or watch at home and be a part of the biggest Lions season of all time. Every game, every touchdown, and every exciting moment. Live with the heavyweights and other Woodward Sports personalities from Hayes Social on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Sponsored by Sabbath Coffee. Y'all got to be there, man. And the post-game show with Stick and Anson. Get the first reaction and maybe overreactions to all the Lions games with Stick and Anson live from Hayes Social in Shelby Township. Their instant takes on the game immediately following every game. Call in from anywhere and be a part of the show or show up at Hayes Socials. Listen, y'all got to show up. I will be on sounds there. I will be getting fan interaction. This is a really cool opportunity for us. If you know anything about our watch parties last year, then you know it's going to be hype. People wanted to be a part of it, so this is why we're doing this. Come, show up, be a part of it. Watch parties, post-game shows. Live after every Lions game on the biggest Detroit sports network, Woodward Sports. And I got to tell you guys about one more thing here, okay? The Ally Challenge. It's back, and it's presented by McLaren. August 22nd through the 25th at Warwick Hills. I need you guys to show up, and you're going to want to have some fun because you get to leave the golfing to the pros because the PGA Tour champion is returning. The winner's getting $2 million, so you already know it's going to be hype. And KG,
what up?
They don't want to miss that party at hole number 17.
No, they don't. It's real tight.
Listen, bro, $2 party beers, concerts, and more. I bet they're listening right now. Get your tickets at allychallenge.com. Brought to you by Randy Wise Automotive. All right, hey, you know what? 3 for 3 on the reads. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Get yourself some Sorokis at some point in time today. Get yourself those tickets to hole 17. But college football is in the air. Oof. I can feel it, man. I love to see the fact that Flannel, who usually has no swag on the desk, that Michigan helmet is right there. And you know what? Before we get into this segment, I got to just kind of make sure that we're news, media outlets.
Break it.
Breaking news. Iowa coach Kirk Ferentz has been suspended one game for violations recruiting who? QBK McNamara.
Oh, wow. It happens at other schools?
Who's that guy?
Wow.
Weird.
I thought only Michigan did that.
Oh,
wow.
man.
Vacate them all. Vacate all the wins.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Asterisks by all their games.
Was it a cheeseburger?
Every game that Kerry played in, you got to put asterisks by, right?
God, their offense was so good, too. So good.
Damn. Cheaters, man. Damn.
What's up, Flannel?
Is it a nothing burger?
I mean, Cade McNamara, good luck. For the record, I do think their offense would have looked a little bit better if he was healthy, and I think he's going to be better than what Deacon Hill was last year for Iowa this year. But this is certainly things that make you go,
I wouldn't put your money on that Flannel, personally. I've seen the spring ball and the summer highlights. He was 7 for 20 the last time I checked for 40 yards, I think.
If he's worse than Deacon Hill, you would just hate to see it. I'll just say that. You would just hate to see it.
You just hate to see it.
Yeah, just risked it all for Cade. That's kind of messed up.
Oh, goodness, man. Well, look, we got to get into this Michigan and college football start, sit, cut. It is a Big Ten edition. That dude Justin has prepared this. Hey, let's get into it, brother.
Let's go. Am I the one reading the start bench cuts, or is Flannel?
Yeah.
I camera on you right now.
Oh, yeah, if you want to do it.
All right, I'll do it. I'll run it. I got it right here. All right. At QB, we have Drew Aller, Dylan Gabriel, and Will Howard. Start bench cut.
All right. I am starting Dylan Gabriel. I am benching Drew Aller, and I am cutting Will Howard. 100%. I think, and I'll explain. Dylan Gabriel, he is going to be that perfect, just like clean quarterback who just makes all the right reads and all the right throws. He's smart. He can just distribute it to Tez Johnson and Evan Stewart. They have a great tight end, 2 offensive linemen, a running game. He's going to absolutely eat. I think he's a Heisman finalist. Drew Aller, he's going to benefit from not having to play Michigan and Oregon, but I think he's going to put up huge numbers because he did last year, just not against the best teams, and I think he's more talented than Will Howard. And I think Will Howard is only a slight upgrade over Kyle McCord, and I think Ohio State fans are going to be very, very disappointed.
Yeah, I'm with you on the exact same order. Dylan Gabriel start, bench Drew Aller, and cut Will Howard. And I'll just talk about Dillon Gabriel real quick because he's returning to that Oregon offense, or he's playing on that Oregon offense that they're ready to go. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league and two of the best receivers in college football. I think that is going to propel Dillon Gabriel into that Heisman conversation that Flannel was talking about. Justin.
I agree on Dillon Gabriel. He is one of the most efficient passers in all of college football, but I have not let my narrative on Drew Aller come short here. I'm going to cut him, and I'm going to bench Will Howard because I believe that Will Howard is a little more composed. I'd rather have him leading a game-winning drive than I would Drew Aller.
Great.
That's fair.
All right, we'll keep it pushing now. We'll get to the Michigan man himself, Donovan Edwards. He is along with Travion Henderson and Nathan Carter out of MSU.
I am starting Travion Henderson, benching Donovan Edwards, and cutting Nathan Carter. I think Nathan Carter's closer to mid than good. I know Michigan State fans are like blowing loads over him, but I think he's just okay. I think the UMass transfer is actually better.
Why ain't you starting Donovan, though, is the question.
Guys, he had a terrible year last year before the national championship game. A lot of people don't want to remember that, but he was horrible. He was the most disappointing player in college football, despite even with the national championship game. He's got to show it this year. Travion Henderson, I understand that he's going to be sharing carries with Quinshon Judkins, but he's been really, really good through his. He was better last year than people think. He's a lifetime 6.2 yards per carry guy. He's had double-digit touchdowns his freshman year and a junior year. I think he's in for a big season. And with Donovan Edwards, one of the reasons I bench him over Nathan Carter, amongst others, I at least think that he's the best pass catcher of the three. And I do think Donovan Edwards could get to where Travion Henderson is, where I would do, if we do this at the end of the year, I'd start Donovan, but he's got to show me something after what he did last year.
I was intrigued by this selection right here, especially with Donovan Edwards because of the year he had last year, but the promise and the intrigue that he showed in that national championship game. And I know there has a lot of people right now with a lot of potential, hoping for his potential ceiling to be reached this year with Donovan Edwards. I'm really conflicted on him as a player.
He's getting benched for me too. Starting Travion Henderson and cutting Nathan Carter. Quinshon Judkins, I think, has a case to be on this list as one of the top three.
Better than the three. That's why I didn't have him, because it's too obvious. Yes,
I would agree. I'm in lockstep with everything that you guys just said. And the one thing I want to touch on with Donovan Edwards, there's no proof that he can be a bell cow running back like how Corum was. Travion Henderson has done it for the past 2 years for Ohio State, and that's why I have Travion Henderson above Donovan Edwards. So let's go to the wide receivers, because there are some playmakers in the Big Ten. This isn't necessarily the most elite group of playmakers, as there's no Jeremiah Smith or Taz Johnson, but we do have Evan Stewart out of Oregon, Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State, and Julian Fleming out of Penn State, who transferred from Ohio State.
Yes, Tez Johnson was another one where it's like, I think he'd be too obvious as the one that you would start. The reason I picked Evan Stewart was because his numbers were more comparable to what Emeka Egbuka's were last year. I am starting Evan Stewart. I think that he is going to benefit greatly from a season where he's fully healthy. We don't know that, of course, but he missed 5 games last year due to injury, and he was also played the most of his season without his starting quarterback in Connor Wigman. And having a lot of the attention being on Tez Johnson, I think Evan Stewart absolutely eats this year, and he makes huge plays. He was one of the top recruits in his class. He's going to be great. Emeka Egbuka, I worry about him as a number one. He doesn't strike fear into me the way that Marvin Harrison Jr. does. And when you look at last season for him, you look at his counting numbers, you look at his metrics, you look at the eye test, he was not the receiver that he was with Kyle McCord, that he was with C.J. Stroud. I think I got Evan Stewart over him. And Julian Fleming, unfortunately for him, I always hear about him, but I never see it. He had a pretty good year in 2022, but he's basically been more mid than not in his career, and he's always been buried on the Ohio State depth chart. He's got to put up or shut up.
Yeah, see, I have Emeka Egbuka as the starter here. I'm starting him. I'm benching Evan Stewart, and I'm cutting Julian Fleming. I do it because Marvin Harrison Jr. is gone. Can he step up and be a true number one? To be determined, but I think he's going to get more opportunity across the ball. I think the offense is going to be a little bit different with the strength of their run game and the fact that they don't have that true, like, number one superstar wide receiver opposite him. He's going to be that guy that Will Howard seeks out.
And Jeremiah Smith is more of a taller, go get the ball type of receiver, compared to Emeka Egbuka, who's a yak king, who really can get under a defense's skin through play action and getting open. So I'm going to start Emeka. I'm going to bench Emeka, though, even though I was talking him up. I am going to start Evan Stewart, and I'm going to cut Fleming because Flannel hit it on the head. I always hear about Fleming, but he does nothing. And that's going to be a nothing burger because Drew Aller sucks. Anyway.
This next one's good.
This is a good
This is
D-line
tough.
one. This one's a tough one. Probably the toughest on the board because their stats are almost identical. Kenneth Grant, Tyleik Williams, and Bear Alexander.
I am starting Kenneth Grant. I am benching Tyleik Williams, and I am cutting Bear Alexander. Let me just get this out of the way. All three of those guys are absolute loads in the middle paws who are relatively immovable and are all really, really good against the run, although I think Bear Alexander is the weak link of them all, both in the run and in pass rushing. To me, the difference between all of them is that Kenneth Grant, I think he's the most talented. He's the most athletic. I think he's actually got the most speed, even though he's also the biggest. And when you look at his sack totals, his pass rushing metrics, and all of that, he is number one. He clears Tyleik Williams pretty much across the board when it comes to everything. So that is why I think that Tyleik Williams is kind of a poor man's Kenneth Grant, personally. And Bear Alexander is much worse than both of them.
Hey, we disagree again. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I have Tyleik Williams out of the Ohio State University up as a starter, and Kenneth Grant benched, and then Bear Alexander gone. I love Kenneth Grant, and I think he's going to get drafted over Tyleik Williams. I just think I know what I'm going to get out of Tyleik Williams already, and maybe it's not the same ceiling as Kenneth Grant playing next to Mason Graham, but on that defensive line, I think he's going to have a big year. That's why I'm benching Kenneth Grant. What about you, Justin?
I think that's so interesting because you bring up a great point that he is the man on that Ohio State D-line. He is going to be known for that run stuff ability in the middle that Mason Graham is known for. So I think it's a really tough comparison of the two. I am going to go with starting Kenneth Grant because I like the upside more, and he's going to benefit from being the second best player on his defensive line. I'm going to bench Tyleik, and I'm going to cut Bear because, like Flannel said, he's not necessarily even in the atmosphere that these two guys are in. All right, so we got two more left. We got the DBs and the edge rushers. We're going to
do edge rusher first.
You want to do edge rusher?
Yeah, let's end with DBs.
All right. Edge rusher, overrated. Abdul Carter out of Penn State. JT Tuimoloau, overrated. And Josiah Stewart.
Okay, so you already made your feelings. I am starting Abdul Carter. I think that out of all the guys, he's got the highest pass rushing upside by far. He's the one that's like a true linebacker type, that speed rusher. He's also got some power. To me, the only thing that's really hurting Abdul Carter is he should just be focused on only being an edge rusher and not his other linebacking duties, because his pass rushing is absolutely elite. I've got him starting. I've got JT Tuimoloau, or I'll just call him JT. I will bench him. To me, he's really, really good, and he's really steady, and he has moments where he really flashes and, gets to the quarterback and gets sacks, but he's kind of emblematic of Ohio State's problem in this era. Back in the day, they were used to having Chase Youngs and Bosa's. Now they got Zach Harrisons and JTs. I think JT is closer to Zach Harrison than he is to being a Bosa. Still really good, but not elite. And I am benching Josiah Stewart, unfortunately, because I don't think he's as talented as those guys, and he's a little undersized compared to them, although I do think he has a good year.
So you're cutting him?
I'm cutting him.
Yeah. I'm cutting him too.
Yep.
I'm cutting him too, Flannel. But I'm starting JT Tuimoloau over Abdul Carter for the reason Flannel said, actually. I want Abdul Carter to just focus on rushing off the edge. It's the same thing I want out of James Houston. Like, finally they're moving him to just be a true third down edge rusher, a true just go get the quarterback. That's what I think Abdul Carter, that's how you get the most out of him. I'm going with JT to start.
All right. I mean, if you want to have someone who only shows up one time a year against Penn State, that's your prerogative. But I ain't doing that with JT. I also say Abdul Carter is overrated because of the fact that he is anointed in the next Micah Parsons. He wears the 11 at Penn State. I will say I will be starting him. He does have the most upside, but I'm still saying he is overrated in the totality of his draft prospect and even in the overall landscape of college football. I am going to bench Josiah Stewart because Josiah Stewart makes plays in not one game, every game. He makes big plays as well. So I'm going to bench Josiah Stewart, and I'm going to cut JT because I don't like guys who only show up one game a year and have an amazing game and it carries their entire stat line. So we're going to keep it pushing to someone who doesn't do that, which is Will Johnson.
Yes, sir. He better start on
Sebastian Castro and Denzel Burke. Start, bench, cut.
All right. I am starting Will Johnson because he is the best player in college football, period. Not just the best corner, the best player.
Period.
Did you know his passer rating allowed when targeted last year? 31.
Oh, geez.
Is that good? He also made 2 of the biggest interceptions of the season. The one that really got it going against Ohio State and that one right after halftime against Michael Penix, where before halftime when Washington scored, I was damn near having a meltdown.
Yeah.
I wasn't damn near, I was. But Will Johnson, you made it all better.
Yeah, you did.
I am benching Denzel Burke. And the reason why I have him being benched and Sebastian Castro being cut is that Denzel Burke, he is actually really good as an outside man corner. He's got some elite numbers. What was that number that I saw? 19% completion percentage allowed when targeted in single coverage last year. He was an absolute stud. He doesn't have nearly the talent or the upside, and he didn't make the big plays like Will Johnson did. I am cutting Sebastian Castro, even though I really, really like him. It's more of a how do you want it thing. Sebastian Castro is an absolute demon as a slot corner. He is going to be the guy who is best against the run, who's going to get the most TFLs. He's also going to make a lot of plays on the ball, but you can't line him up on an island against a team's best receiver like you can with Will Johnson and you can with Denzel Burke. Sebastian Castro does what he does almost as good as what Will Johnson does, but I want what Will Johnson does more than what Sebastian Castro does. So start Will Johnson, bench Denzel Burke, and cut Sebastian Castro.
Well said. You almost actually changed my opinion there. That was pretty good. None of these guys are bad. Like, they're all extremely talented, but I'm easily starting Will Johnson. I'm benching Sebastian Castro, and I'm cutting Denzel Burke. I want an Iowa cornerback. Sebastian Castro is talented. He has a different skill set than Denzel Burke, but I'm going with him. I think Iowa, you pair that with their incredibly easy schedule, he's going to have a big year.
I would agree with that. I think I'm lockstep with Broder here. I'm going to start Johnson, I'm going to bench Castro, and I'm going to cut Burke because I also think Burke is overrated. He's being talked about in the same conversation as the Will Johnsons, the Travis Hunters of the world, and he is nowhere near that class. He is a good corner, but he's not an elite corner. And I think in today's game we get so up in atoms with elite versus good. Like, you can be a good corner, that's all good, that's Denzel Burke, but you're not elite, you're not Travis Hunter, and you're not Will Johnson, and that's where I have the issue with the Denzel Burke hype.
No, and that's fair. He is most certainly not Will Johnson, which is why I want to make it very, very clear. Denzel Burke had himself a good year, but Will Johnson is, as Neil Rule says, he's like mercurial. He's one of those generational type cornerback prospects. He would have been a better cornerback prospect this year if he was eligible than Terrion Arnold. He might have been the first cornerback drafted after his freshman year. He is an absolute unicorn. I want to clear up a couple of things in the chat, though, before we move on. No, it isn't bad.
You don't say.
No, it's just that people were asking about Mason Graham. Mason Graham is too obvious. If Mason Graham is probably a top 5 player in all of college football and certainly the best defensive line, that's why he doesn't deserve to be in conversations with Tyleik Williams and Bear Alexander.
And there's a reason we didn't have tight end on there.
Well, Colston Loveland clears everybody by a mile. But I also, intern Chase, you mentioned Travis Hunter. And I understand with what he can do both ways.
No, you know he don't like anything Colorado or anything associated with Deion Sanders. We know this.
This is my message to Deion Sanders. Stop playing him both ways. He's got to just focus on being a corner. And if he does that, I think he's going to be better off. You saw what happened in the Stanford game last year, where he was one of their best players offensively, but got murdered in the second half. I mean, abused by Alec Eilmaner, the Stanford wide receiver. Alec Eilmaner looked like Randy Moss. You can't play like 80, 85 snaps a game and just be as good defensively as you are. You just can't. And I don't think Travis Hunter as a corner is as good as Will Johnson. If he plays both ways, his numbers are going to look eye-popping, and I understand that. But it's going to hurt him on the defensive side of the ball. So, yes, that is my daily Deion shot as well.
Get him. Get him. Get him.
Daily Deion.
I know we got there are a ton of comments flowing through in the chats, but one of the chat MVPs who happens to be here in studio has been itching to get something off his chest about Michigan, and I think it's a little more than just kiss the rings, like everyone's telling us to say.
And he is dressed more than appropriate from head to toe.
Yeah. Right. Woo. Freddie Felt 313, baby. We got about 3 minutes left in the segment. Cook, baby.
Bro, he's from the kicks, too.
The Jordan.
Let's go.
The Jordan Blues.
Go.
What's good? What do you want to get off your chest about Michigan?
I just want to reiterate something that I said the morning after the national championship win when Flannel was sitting at that desk and I asked Neil Rule how my ass tastes. We are the stepfathers of college football. You may not like us, but you will respect us.
Damn right. Talk to him.
I sat through the post-Lloyd Carr era and heard everything. Toledo, Appalachian State, all the gags, all the running jokes. And it's funny because people hate winners. And when the winners fall on their face, that's when people come out from under their rocks and hate. Now you're seeing this miraculous thing where we've produced the best era of college football that Michigan fans have seen in decades. And now the field goal post started moving. And Flannel knows. Flannel sat up there. He read the comments. Neil, everybody in there, I'm salty. Where's that guy? I don't even know where I'm salty is at this point. He disappeared.
Somewhere being salty.
Salting somewhere else. Covered the spread against 5 top 20 teams. Went through the most adversity, and you can call it self-inflicted wounds all you want. A team that faced that much distraction and that much adversity to be that dominant. Ohio State, with their shoe polish beard coach, that's on his way out this season. I'm not scared of Howard. I'm not scared of the suck eyes. We're making it 4 in a row this year.
Say it with your chest.
Stop with the, it's going to be Oregon, Ohio State.
Hey, you're sending Ryan Day home is what you're telling me.
I'm a Detroiter. I live in Indy. I went to Lucas Oil. I watched the great Iowa offense cheaters put up a stinker against the Wolverines, right? I got the confetti at home still. I'm going back to Lucas Oil this year to watch Michigan. Stop it with this stuff. And now it's like we got the ring. Remember too, real quick. Remember too, the Bama stuff. The groan. Oh, they're scared. The almighty Bama. We beat Bama.
Retired Nick
Milroe.
Saban.
You've never seen a quarterback like Milroe before. Okay, we saw him. He fell on his face at the end.
Their defense can stop Milroe.
He fell on his face at the end. Saban retired. He's doing HBO shows or showing up in locker rooms or whatever he's doing. He's gone. Retire Saban. Now it's, well, that wasn't the Bama of yesteryear. The field goal post moving. You can't move the goalposts on a national champion. Now the rhetoric, now that you have to kiss the ring, now the rhetoric is, well, they're just going to be Auburn if they don't win another one. They're national champs. Whether you like it or not, deal with it. They're not going anywhere. Michigan's not going to run away and hide from you. You wanted a villain, you got it. That's all I got to say.
Well, it seemed like they embraced that so much last year. That villain aspect, man. And that's what was so refreshing about the pettiness when they brought out that championship trophy, the national. Let me make sure I give it its proper due respect. The national championship trophy. As our guy Freddie Felt said.
Freddie
you gotta
Felt.
kiss the ring.
Blue. Seeing the light reflection in his buffs. Are those buffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I figured you showed up with the buffs. Seeing the light reflection, it looks like his pupils. Way to cook there on Michigan, man. Go blue.
Go blue.
Go blue.
Kiss the ring.
You know
Kiss the rings.
You know what it's time for when we get back from break.
It's time to cook up.
Cook up.
Dispo.
Yeah.
Let's rock, man. Where we going there, JB?
We got Feldman.
All right. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Hey, Boys and Girls Club. Join the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. The Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League offers youth ages 5 to 14 with 6 exciting teams to choose from in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. Register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and transportation included, all for a chance to play for a championship at Ford Field for just $175 per child. Put the youth back in youth sports with BGCSM 3C Sports.
And Dispo.
Hey, of course. Kids don't grow up to do this at the Boys and Girls Club. But if you do, you could turn out like KG or JB, of course. How much?
Well, damn. Okay.
Hey, that's not bad. I told you, that's your consolation. You could still succeed in life. How would you like $10 of free products from Dispo Dispensary? Screenshot this image with the QR code and bring it into any Dispo location, and you'll get a free $10 to spend in-store with the minimum purchase of $25. Visit Dispo Dispensary today or disposhops.com. Dispo Dispensary, your local.
Oh, man, dog, I love the WUW Crew. I hope y'all do too. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. I need y'all to smash that like button.
Smash that.
Hey, you know what? Ryan Day, he just can't believe that he's been owned by Michigan so much that he had to get a paternity test. And Steve Lehman in the chat says that the results are in. When it comes to OSU, Michigan, you are the father. Yes, yes, yes. It's time to cook up. It's time to cook up. Let's rock, JB Smooth.
Let's do it.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Ladies and gentlemen, J Bizzo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Once again, I still don't know how I feel about that flannel with the Dispo thing. But I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide because you know what? The boys are on the cover of Sports Illustrated, everybody. Check this out.
Hey.
Oh, that's clean.
crisp.
That's clean. I need that cover. I ain't gonna hold you.
Everyone head out to your local newsstand. Go and
clean.
get you a copy of the Sports Illustrated with the Detroit Lions on it right now as we speak. But all right, let's hop into some of these videos. Kool-Aid, I think you got some competition going on right now with one Mr. Sione Vaki.
His voice is, the performance was the voice. It was.
Let's rock.
It was pretty phenomenal. It really is.
Okay.
All right.
By thy side will stand.
Oh, sing it, boy.
Got that little Motown vibe to him, man.
Praise thy name.
He looked like the Temptation in the past life.
To heaven, yeah.
Don't get jealous, Kool-Aid. Don't get jealous now.
Kool-Aid, what you think about that? Grade it.
Man, that's our Detroit Lions, Sione Vaki. Grading it, that's an A. Way to go, brother.
Hey, if football don't work out, hey, he got a second career.
Hey, he's right here in Detroit. We got Hitsville, right, man? We got Motown, right? We got, look like you got some gospel chops to you, too. Look up the Winans. Look up the Clarks. Look up the Mosses, man. Legendary families who have done a great deal through music. But Vaki, I give him an A. A+.
A, 100%. 100% A.
How awesome is it, like, seeing a football player, like, I know he's not, like, the biggest guy in the world, but he's a safety, a running back. You see him truck guys on game day. To have, like, that high-pitched, just, like, sweet voice.
It's almost too much for me because I'm like, man, he's got it all, doesn't he?
Right? Talk about talent evaluation, Brad Holmes.
What a combination.
I want to
settle in college.
Yes,
it was a combination.
I want Vaki and Ali McNeil to make a jam.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad that's where that went. Make a jam.
Or a baby.
Whoa.
JB.
Okay. All right. Okay. Moving on from that one. God.
It's a tough transition.
Yeah, very tough transition. But you guys want some candy?
Yeah.
Wait.
Bam!
Oh!
Dog, what?
This one was so great because I'm set up by watching the girl, and then this is like, whoa!
This is why you don't let your kids run in the store, man. Like, this is ridiculous, man.
I can hear the Vikings fan already saying that was a dirty hit.
Dirty hit.
Looks like he hit him high.
Just ran out there on the field.
That kid's situational awareness is low, very low.
I'm not gonna lie, fellas. Back when I used to dabble in substitute teaching, if that would have happened to one of the kids I was in a class with, I would probably be like, and then like leave the room and just be like,
horrible teacher.
No, I dealt with a lot of like bad kids, or like not bad kids, but like real like shitheads. But I'll tell you what, I was a terrible substitute teacher though. I was a terrible substitute teacher, so it was a complimentary, just like a bad situation.
Put a leash on your children, man.
Damn, I remember this one kid was showing out, and he took off running, and I don't know if it was like the glass moving doors. I don't know if he thought it was going to open up faster or if he just didn't see it. But he face first right into the glass door.
I could do that with my mama. I know that. They just take off running in the store. What?
What?
No,
do
not
you ain't
do
coming
that.
home.
You're right.
Just run somewhere else, bro.
Chuck Brewer, there are no bad kids, only bad teachers. I was a bad teacher.
Yeah. Is it okay to boo these children?
I think it is. I think it's okay to boo these children. You guys ever had that conversation before you go in the store with your parents? Like, hey, don't act up. Don't do anything wrong.
What? That was every store trip with my mama. Don't ask for nothing. Don't touch nothing.
Look at nothing.
Right.
I'm walking around the whole thing like, oh.
And you better not act up. You better not act up.
Yep. I'm looking at other people like literally rolling around on the floor like, I want the ice cream. I'm like, we can do that? My mom looking at me like,
I wish you would, boy. I wish you would.
No, you can't, but all right, I'll move on from that one. Class, I need you to count the uppercuts.
Wait, what?
All right. Damn, one. Ooh, two.
Wait.
Oh, bro, guard. Three.
Somebody
Jesus,
help
4.
him now at this point.
He got to help himself. 5.
Somebody
Jesus
help him.
Christ.
Oh.
Help
Hey,
your
it
damn
looked like
self.
thinking the ref might have.
Get up, son. That's ridiculous. Oh. It's crazy. You're a boxer and they did not teach you how to block an uppercut. That is ridiculous. You should not get hit with an uppercut that many times. I'm sorry.
Oh my word.
Jesus.
So
Put your hands up, son.
What did we learn?
Goodness
Keep
gracious.
your hands up at all times. That's what I heard.
Keep your hands up at all time. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. I need you guys to grade the verse.
Broder's still in shock.
Passing period's over. Take a seat and read.
Oh, God.
Things like class. No cell phone, please.
Hey.
It's not just
Let's rock.
some math. I mean geometry.
Oh,
Look at Broder's
God.
face, dog.
God.
It's just things like class.
Come on.
No cell phone, please.
Come on now.
Broder's face is not happy with this.
It's not just some math. I mean geometry. I still got some fun.
This is an all-white class, too. I just know it. I just know in my heart and soul that all the children is white. No, man. I'm
listening
sorry.
for the beat right now.
This is it.
You don't think she riding the beat, KG?
She riding the beat. I give her that.
KG, you don't think she riding the beat, KG?
I'm good, man. And listen,
You know
and
what?
I know a lot of people don't care for Sexy Red, man. But let's leave that to the professionals, all right?
Broder,
Let's leave that to Sexy, man.
Her? Mama rapper or Sexy Red, Broder?
Oh, Broder all in on her.
Yeah.
He all in.
Wait, no. The video I sent last night. We posted it to X, and it blew up. Broder, I don't know if you've gotten an opportunity to see this girl yet, dressed in all pink, rapping in front of the Spirit of Detroit statue.
I think I sent you that, Broder, yesterday, remember?
That there were some bars in that. I gotta admit, this just reminds me of like Hillary Swank going to some janked up school and,
Yo,
not making a difference.
It was a little cringy.
Chase Emily said he's all in on Big Sexy.
Hey, just leave it to Big Sexy, man. I know y'all hate her, man, but just let her live, man. Let Big Sexy live.
I'll tell you what, watching that, the only thing I can think of is that great Shane Gillis meme. You know which one I'm talking about. The one where he's just like, or whatever, like he's like killing himself.
Yes, pretty bad.
What was the skit? I've been watching a lot of Shane Gillis recently.
It was, what was that one? It basically means like, this is so bad, I want to, end it all.
Oh, got you.
Yeah,
that was cringy.
Yeah,
that doesn't. As leaders of the white delegation, competing in barking. I got to be careful with my words there. Actually, competed in barking. We need some help. Like, this is not helping our cause.
So we're giving those bars a F. Got it. All right. That's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's go to break and get back with mailbag.
Excellent. Great job as always. Woodward Sports' MVP. That is JB Smooth. Go ahead and hit that like button for what's trending and get your mailbag questions in the chat. Got some more bills to pay, huh?
Yep, let's head over and tell you about Soroki's, because you got to stop by and get you one of those biscuits.
Yeah.
You got to get one of those biscuits.
Tell them to give you the extra butter sauce on top.
The extra butter, too. You can't forget about the extra butter. But Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, they are taking over Michigan, known for their quality hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, chicken sandwich, and you can't forget about the New York-style pizza. Also the biscuits as well, too, as we just mentioned. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit, doubling the number of restaurants this year alone. And Soroki's just had their grand openings in Madison Heights, so you got to check them out. Stop by one of their mega stations, or just order online at Sorokis.com.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
How would you like to play with a legend like Darren McCarty, Kurt Gibson, Braylon Edwards, or Calvin Johnson? It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today and you could play like a VIP. Go to woodwardsports.com or scan the code on the screen. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision, Randy Wise Automotive. And if you're dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch, Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And we are back. It's Wake Up Woodward, our last segment. So you already know it is our Wake Up Woodward mailbag segment presented by Feldman Automotive Group. Get your mailbag questions in. I know Broder is already on the prowl for both Cougars and your chat questions as well.
I am. We got some good ones already. But first, Steve DeYoung referenced the rapping teacher from last segment. What's trending with JB Smooth?
Yeah.
He says, was that the lead artist of KWA, Karens with Attitude? Their album Straight Out of the Suburbs?
Yeah.
Coming from a Whole Foods near you?
Yep.
Jeez. Steve Young, hell of a comment.
From a Whole Foods near you.
Ed O'Neill asked mailbag, Sam won't like this, but if the Lions win for the 3rd straight year in Lambeau, Can we call it Campbell Field?
No. No, that's that. Okay, so I will be okay with it if the Lions win at Green Bay and at home against Green Bay. Then you can do that 100%, and I won't even try to stop.
Hey,
you.
Listen, man, if they win again and you punch that Super Bowl ticket, we can just name it Sheila's Place.
Sure. Of course, a Super Bowl is the ultimate wild card. You win a Super Bowl, and we can all prance around and do with like our what's hanging out, no matter what,
Okay.
It's the Super Bowl. I'm not saying we should. Metaphorically, guys. Metaphorically. We have actual.
Nah, you might be for real.
Freddie Feld says Campbell Field.
Prancing around the studio.
Campbell Field. What about this? I don't know if this is an inside joke or you'll understand it, but Rando Smalls to Sam, mailbag. I championed our Tigers if we finish close to 500. Was I right, Sam?
I think they'll finish over 500 if that's your question. I do. I think that they've got a lot of winnable games coming up. I think that it wouldn't shock me if over their next 8 that they go 6-2, 7-1. They got the White Sox and then they got the Angels.
Because that's the path to them being able to convince Chris Ilitch to go out and get Winker.
Did you not see electricity, man? He's not just some boring Moneyball guy who gets walks. He hits nukes, and he celebrates like a damn WWE character.
It was hype, man.
It was.
I can't even lie.
On that note, Alan W.
dream.
mailbag, if
He
Scott
is the
Harris
man
could only
that I
target
have a
one
rocket
area
dreams
of the
of
team
playing.
this offseason, what would you pick? I have more faith in the bats after seeing how our guys have developed, so I say overhaul the bullpen. What do you think?
They need a bullpen arm. Yeah. They've got some. They have Estevez is out there. Minter. Hell, if you really want to make a splash, I don't know if it fits the Tigers' timeline. How about Aroldis Chapman? Somebody like that.
Love it.
Oh, I would love Aroldis Chapman. But yeah, you definitely need another bullpen arm because
That's crazy.
I think Will Vest is the best bad pitcher, best bad bullpen pitcher I've ever seen. Somehow his numbers look good, but it's always an adventure.
BigCon 51 mailbag. Is that Hawaii game still going to be played? 200 earthquakes in the past 8 hours.
What?
What?
Have there been a lot of earthquakes near Hawaii?
I don't know about that.
They
one.
probably still playing though.
Got you. I didn't understand the question until I actually spoke it. There must be something
I
going on.
need that game to be played. I got money. I took Neil's get right,
I know.
man.
I think we
Delaware
all got
State
money.
40.5 point underdog.
I think we all got money on that game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for real.
Flannel got the chat going a little bit with your
that game has to
just
be played.
celebration.
Oh yeah.
Strategy.
I'm not actually gonna do it. It's just like metaphorically.
Flannel.
He is my Moneyball dream.
Front
He
office
is the
Flannel.
man that I have erotic dreams of.
Flannel.
Erotic dreams.
Thank you, JB.
It's a grown ass man. Erotic dreams.
Epic clip. Ed O'Neill mailbag. If Branch, Iffy, and one of Arnold or Carlton Davis plays at a Pro Bowl or borderline All-Pro,
That sounds sexy.
what is the ceiling of this defense?
Man.
Best defense in the NFC North for sure.
You said
No
TA
question.
is what unlocks the Lions being able to move up in that secondary rankings for you. And overall, it's going to pay great dividends for this Detroit Lions defense.
I'm pretty sure that list didn't even include Branch either, because I think Branch is almost a given. If they have Branch and another Pro Bowler, yeah, it's the best secondary in the NFC North, no question.
That's right.
Mike G. Mailsack. Is it okay to smoke menthols after having a rule-gasm?
Wait, what?
Asking for a friend.
Yes.
Smoke menthol.
Shout out Neil Rule. Let's go one or two more. Oh, Ryan's Lions, Mailsack. Can the Detroit Lions score a rushing touchdown in every regular season game this year?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't see that. Why
Yes.
not?
They can, yeah, they can.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know what the stats of the numbers dictate, but don't they have the talent? Don't they have the coaches? Don't they have the schemes?
One of the best offensive lines in the
swag.
league. The best running back duo in the league.
And they know that they're it. They know, like this Lions offense, they know that the expectation is let's improve. Be the best offense in all of football, and you know what? Challenge yourself. That's what I love. Whether he gets there or not, that's what I love so much about Jahmyr Gibbs saying, you know what? I'm going to try and break the bank as it relates to the bet he made with Amon-Ra St. Brown going out there and having a field day, not just running the ball, but also receiving yards.
I agree with you that I like the mentality, but he ain't getting 1,000, and that's more than, and that is more than okay. Get yourself like 15. Get the AI stat line.
Push for it at least, but
1,578, 16 total touchdowns. Shoot, yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Erica.
Erica! All right, last one. Chase Amley, Feldman mailbag. Have you ever caught yourself before an embarrassing moment and prevented it?
I mean, I'm sure everybody has.
Definitely, man. I don't know if I can share more here, but definitely. Oh, you know what? I can definitely share one. We were at a basketball tournament, and it was in college, freshman year. You got to try hard on everything. But I'm sorry, we were playing Kutztown. They had some players that could absolutely jump out the gym. We were in Pennsylvania for a weekend. My family was there, and this guy jumped from a place. I'm like, bro, man, it looked like he was just going to take 2 more dribbles on a fast break and make the layup. No, he decides, I'm not taking these dribbles, I'm jumping. I made the business decision and kept running through. My homie decides, nope, I want to show coach what I can do.
No.
He wound up getting dunked on and passed out, split his skull.
Damn.
Jeez. Bad.
Damn.
I ran through and just kept
I
going
did not
up.
think it was going to end like that.
I was like, sheesh. You know what? I'm sure if he didn't get hurt, coach and teams probably like, oh, why didn't you try hard? But I'm like, you know what? That couldn't be me.
Way to have that foresight, Kool-Aid.
That
Sometimes
is
it's better to just
impressive,
not get dunked on.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
I'm going to have to put some thought into that, but that'll be our last mailbag question. Hell of a show Thursday. Flannel, I always wish we could be with you on Friday, these remotes, but it was a fun week.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of college football, a lot of NFL. I'm pumped.
Oh, yeah.
Pumped up, man. I can't wait till the day that we get this guy on Bar King. We're going to have to make it happen soon, even if we actually pre-recorded it someday.
Don't matter. He's still going to lose.
Probably. No, probably.
Don't matter.
Every time I say Bar King, he starts like staring me down like, what?
Yeah. Because you are addressing your Bar King.
Hey, you
reigning
know what?
defending.
Let's wrap up.
Factual.
Longest reigning.
Let's go. Let's go. But, got a little Cody Rhodes on the way.
All right.
Let's get this going.
Hey.
Go with the Go Blue football.
Hey, people really didn't like my passing form either yesterday. So, you see that? You see that dot?
That's
see that?
I don't know. It was a wobbler, man.
Dot.
It was a wobbler.
It was
Jared Goff
there.
dot.
It was on target, right?
It was on target.
Hey, let's wrap this thing up. Chat family, this has been a great show. The engagement, the likes, the views, everything. Thank you guys for helping us, supporting us, and choosing to kick off your morning with Wake Up Woodward. We had intern Chase in the building. We had that dude Justin in the building. Freddie Felt, your chat family member in the building. Holding it down to representing well. Got the Michigan on from head to toe.
Yes, sir.
And the Buffs on. Glad to have you in the studio the last couple of days, brother. Let's get this thing broken down. The vet of the network right here. It is Flannel Sam. Most prepared and always bringing the heat. What up, though, brother?
Man, intern Chase in the chat, got to hold the football near your ear. You know what? If I would have gotten your advice back when I was maybe 13, 14 years old, maybe I would have been a quarterback. Probably not still, because I have a terrible arm. I throw a 50-mile-an-hour fastball, as it showed on one of those machines. But you know what? This was a fun show.
All you got to do is beat out Nate's touchdown.
I haven't actually been able to do that, but no, this was a fun show. I love coming in after the Tigers get a nice win with the young guys and Jesse Winker. It was like a baseball nirvana for old Flannel Sam today. Anything short of being in a pennant chase, that would be my second incarnation of a baseball
It's
nirvana.
that aggressive elevator music.
Hey, I like that music.
Aggressive elevator music.
It's like the one that be playing like the bathrooms or like fancy malls and
Right.
stuff. You be at the stall like, hey. But hey, shout out to Matthew Broder, our credentialed Tigers and our Lions reporter and writer for the network. Does so much for this show and a lot more behind the scenes. Shout out to him, man.
Great show. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Matthew. Our elite, our wonderful, our stupendous, our great,
Keep it going.
our talented.
Yep.
You need a few more?
A couple more.
All right. Better than good, better than the rest. I'm talking about these dudes are dogs.
My dog.
These guys are dogs. And their hearts is pumping harder than the rest.
No photos.
Hey.
No photos, please.
In the sound booth, it is Detroit's #1 draft pick. That is KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood.
Yes, sir. And remember, kids, if you smoke weed, you can end up like me. Remember that. No, but great show today. Shout out to the team, man. And yeah, man, let's have a good week next week, man. I'm looking forward to Lion season, baby. We almost here.
Almost there. Hey, shout out to Woodward Sports' MVP in the TD booth. Friday is just a day away. Oh, but we're on remote. That is JB Smooth.
Friday is just a day away, and guess we are remote, so come and hang out with us. Where are we going to be at tomorrow? I completely forgot.
Warwick Hills.
Warwick Hills for the golf tournament.
The LA Challenge.
LA Challenge. Hey,
it's
all
here.
weekend. You guys got to show up. Hang out with us, because obviously we always have a good time. If you didn't see the heavyweights with John Daly earlier, they were going crazy, but still, it's been a great week.
It's been a great week, great content. One more day this week. Hoping you guys stick around with us. It's your boy Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Thank you guys for all the support. Zooming through that like goal. If you didn't get an opportunity to, definitely go ahead and smash that like button. But most importantly, have an even better day. Have a great day, you all. Thank you. It's been Wake Up Woodward.